Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fetish Cafe. We are here doing part 3 on this foot fetish thing because part 2 will come out very shortly and you know, we're just going to do a little series on this. I want to talk to as many people as I can here. So today we are talking to Drew. How you doing, Drew?
Hey, doing good, peace.
Excellent, excellent. So we're just gonna jump right in. First things first, let's just get this business out of the way. Drew, how old are you, man?
I'm 40.
40 years old. See, this is always nice to talk to someone who is maybe a little older than me, but still close, right? Because I'm 34. So, Drew. So let's talk about where I like to start with. How did you first discover this fetish for yourself? What really kicked it off for you, and how old were you?
Um, I remember being semi-aware of it from as young as like 4 or 5, but I think my first experience that really solidified it for me was probably when I was around 6 or 7. I think I was the first or second grade. Um, my mom used to work at a daycare, and me and my brother would, go over there after school. And there was this older girl. She was probably about, 14, 15, way older than me.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
me and my brother were playing in the sandbox, and she came over, and we had the idea to bury her feet in the sand. And then I would dig a tunnel like underneath right beside her feet and tickle them. And so it really, really started, um, my foot fetish really started very tickle focused. And
Yeah,
it just, yeah, I could just felt something different inside, and definitely
and it just
something I was going to be into.
yeah, it just kind of grew from there. Did you so you kind of knew then? Did you experiment a little bit more at a younger age, or would it not really see real action until later?
Um, Other than coming up with different tickling related games to play with my friends and whatnot around the neighborhood. Other than that, no, I really didn't get into anything more than that until I hit my teen years, and discovered that I really wanted to see how they smelled, and really got to get my hands on them, to like massage and things like that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So let's get into that a little bit more. So you're a teenager. How old were you? I guess the real question is, did you tell anybody? Did you confide in any friends, or was this kept to close to the chest?
Um, my real brother and brother from another mother knew about it, but they were really the only two. And of course, they didn't understand it at all and would give me, a lot of crap about it. But it was
Oh, okay.
mostly in good fun. In good fun. Um, so I mean, they were never cruel about it at all. But no, I wasn't terribly open until I started. Um, Well, I guess yeah, for my first girlfriend at around 15 or so, she knew. Um,
How quickly did you tell her? Was it like an immediate kind of thing, or did you wait a little while?
I think I remember waiting for about a month or two. Um, yeah, and we were friends before. Um, but yeah, it was
How did it go over telling her though? Like, did it, if you can recall anyway?
yeah, she was cool with it. She was uh a very open chick, and she didn't really understand it, and was cool with if I wanted to tickle them, massage them, anything like that. She um, drew the line at toe sucking. She wasn't about that.
Okay, so that was the
Some-
hard
But
stop.
yeah, yeah.
Did you get to lick the sole at all there, or was that too much too?
No, that was too much too.
Okay. What was I wonder what the big holdup was for her, because I mean if she's okay with it as a whole, um, you would think. I mean I don't know. I'm just spitballing there, but
Right. Yeah.
so you said you were roughly what, 15, 14, 15?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
So I have to say, man, props to you for kind of confiding in people. That's something I've learned from doing this that a lot of people don't do. Most people are really afraid to tell absolutely anyone about any kind of fetish or interest that they have. So
Right.
props to you for doing that. And also, kudos. Another reason why I do this show is because there's a lot of, and maybe I'm lingering on the foot fetish thing because it's my fetish too, but there's a lot of shame in the foot fetish community. People so scared and afraid and just ashamed of how they feel about it.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
this is another example of just tell people, man. It's I understand it can be hard, but you just got to say it. So anyway, that's my little motivational speech for the moment. So you when was the next time? So was that enough confidence to carry into your next relationship, or because she was iffy on certain things, did that make you kind of pump the brakes a little bit?
Actually, it just it motivated me more, actually.
Oh wow.
And it was around that time that prior to searching on the internet, I had no idea that there was anyone else on Earth that felt the same way I did. But once I, started back in the good old Prodigy days, um, I found a website called In the Feet of the Night, and I was blown away that there was others out there, and so that kind of made me a little more okay with it. So yeah, definitely the the next relationship I got into being able to smell her feet and have them on my face and um, suck her toes and so yeah, I went pretty far. Plenty.
So how old were you for that second experience?
That was probably around 16 or so.
Okay, so about a year later then, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so how was the first time? Because this is something I've talked about with other people. I'm seeing a lot more people saying that their first time actually getting to suck toes or lick or whatever is just not really wowing them the way they thought it would. Was it everything you thought it'd be?
Oh man, and more. The best part was just the scent, the smell. This chick had just an amazing smell, period, about her, but her feet smelled really just wonderful, and could not get enough of them. Toe sucking, it was great. Yeah, I
You sound like me. Yeah, the first
couldn't
time
even
was awesome. So that's I guess I'll get into some preferences here for you. I think we've learned a little bit, but so what is the main preference? Do you like a smellier odor? I'm guessing.
I do. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Mid range, but definitely, yeah, definitely like all the various smells, vinegar, cheese. Popcorn's probably my favorite.
Oh man, yeah. So I think the corn chip one is the one for me.
Oh yeah. That would be number two. Definitely
Yes.
second.
Cool. So, do you like? Are you into socks? Are you into nylons? Are you into those things too?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's funny.
Awesome.
I've got a wonderful wife who has no problem me borrowing her socks for a day or two after she's done with them, and
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I'll just go ahead and say this. Me and you are both married. I've been married for 14 years.
cool.
How about you?
It's been 15 years this year.
Awesome. Congratulations.
You as well?
Even more congratulations to have something that like so I'll ask a little bit. I don't want to get too in depth with personal life, and if it's too far just let me know.
Sure.
But so your wife, is she into it too, or is she just like she doesn't understand it but she's cool with you being into it?
She doesn't really get it, but she's totally cool with me being into it. She loves the um, getting the near nightly foot massage.
Yes.
And I've been giving her pedicure since we started dating. So um,
That's
she
awesome.
probably wouldn't bother.
That is really cool. Yeah, my wife's very similar. She doesn't completely understand it, she just wants to make me happy. And so yeah, she's super down with whatever most of the time.
Oh yeah, you can't ask for much more than that. It's great.
So you said you started with tickling. Do you still have a big fetish for tickling as well?
Absolutely, yes. That is my still to this day my number one turn on, most definitely. Um,
So, what turns you on about tickling? What is it? Because I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm similar to that. I love tickling, but I'm just curious. What is it for you?
for me, I think it's almost the involuntary nature of it. Uh, and I love the sound of a woman's laughter. It's like music. Um,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
just being able to touch the feet, and it's really foot specific. Like uh, other people who have the tickling fetish, they or have various body parts that is a favorite. Some like all over, but for me, I don't. I guess my foot fetish is more prominent than the tickling fetish, but it's like a companion fetish in a way. So it's just the involuntary nature, getting to touch nice soft soles and see the reaction and hear um, laughter and just
Is
all
there
all in one. It's just something that does it for me.
do you have to confine the feet at all? Is your wife very ticklish, or have people you've played with in the past been very ticklish?
For the most part, yeah. I've really only gotten her to uh, agree to be restrained once. We're working on this repeat at some point, perhaps, but it doesn't. I don't require any kind of bondage or anything. It's just
Right. I just didn't know because yeah, it's that's kind of where so a little bit of background on me and tickling too is that I really enjoyed the tickling aspect of everything as well, especially the feet. But it's like what really started. It kind of was the gateway into bondage for me.
right.
So I started getting a thing for bondage and things like that, and it all kind of ran together. But yes, my foot fetish is number one, and tickling kind of came with it for me. And then, of course, I'm a huge nylons guy. Stockings, tights. Holy shit, man. Like,
Yeah, I was
wow.
an '80s kid back when they were still in fashion. So yeah, that got permanently imprinted.
Man, I'm jealous of that for sure. Um, so you had a few experiences in your teenage years. Um, did did you ever get rejection? Did you ever get someone just completely shot down by the whole thing?
Um, I'm trying to remember. I was pretty good at kind of feeling, girls out because there were some that I didn't disclose to and didn't date very long, um, just because I had heard uh, something negative about it, about foot fetish, and um, just kind of never really went that far with it. But I've never really had like a super bad reaction where someone was just disgusted by it or anything.
Okay. Well, hey,
Been pretty
that's really
fortunate
good.
there.
Yeah, man, that's really good. I'm happy to hear that because being totally shot down and totally rejected and just people acting disgusted by it is what really makes a lot of the community afraid to say something. So
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, and I'm just guessing here, but I just don't, based on experience, I don't think you're just going to get totally disgusted looks or vibes. Read the room, obviously, but you know.
Sure.
So when did you? How long did you date your wife, and when did you tell her in the process? Did you tell her early on? Did you tell her late?
I had told her about it pretty early on. It was um, probably about 3 or 4 months into our relationship.
Okay. Yeah, so you stayed pretty brave throughout then, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, yeah, like I said, I hadn't really had a whole lot of rejection or bad experiences, so that's uh, that's I think probably what led me to be a little more bold and owning it a little bit more. Um,
So did you ever buy socks off the internet or anything like that? Like used socks or anything?
no, I I was always really wary of like where they actually came from. So I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
to um, sniff any socks. It would be from somebody that I knew,
Right, right.
origin. So
I understand. It's like the community now is so strong with that, and people trying to um, abuse the system really. So you do have to be careful of that. I completely understand. What's your favorite experience? Let's do your favorite experience, best time you've had,
wow.
regardless. Like what's the top for you?
Think probably was when I was probably about 12 or 13, and was over at a good friend of mine's house, and he had an older sister, and she was about 16 or 17, and she had just come home from school. We were already at his house, and I don't know why, but for some reason she was being a brat about something, and so I told my buddy, I said, "Well, let's tickle her until she gives up whatever information she was withholding." And so he joined in, not thinking anything about it, and
Of
so I
course not.
immediately went for her feet, and that was probably the longest I've ever tickled a female's feet in my life. And beyond that, she actually kind of developed, I guess, a little bit of a crush on me because she was having me tickle her feet the rest of the night, like telling me to. And
Wow.
so, yeah, that was probably my number one, like, wow experience.
That is a wow experience. That sounds amazing. So it's been excellent talking to you, man. I just have to ask, any words of wisdom, closing thoughts, or final thoughts, if you will?
Um, just just like you said, own it. It's not a big deal. It's not most of us that have this, the majority of us, I would say, we are just regular, normal people that you couldn't pick out of a crowd. We just happen to like a very specific part of the body and find beauty in it. And what can you hate about that?
Absolutely. As I've said in the past few episodes, loud and proud is how we should be, everybody, because it's really not that bad. So try to look at it that way. Drew, thanks again, man, for being on the show. I really appreciate your time.
Oh, it's been great.
And everybody, stay tuned. I think I've got at least one more interview on this topic. So if you're sick of this, I apologize. But if you're not, stay tuned and tune in, and we will see you on the next one.